From Pine Mountain, we journey a few miles south to Columbus, where a local family has put a modern twist on an old Southern snack. Cheese, glorious cheese. Straws, that is. Down by the river in Columbus, Georgia, Margaret Amos and her son Neal took a heirloom family recipe and from that concocted a simple but perfect little pack of snacks.
Cheese straws have been around, of course, my whole life. They really go back to about the 1930s is really what I find. All of us in the South have known for generations and generations that it's a great hors d'oeuvre, it's a great appetizer. It's kind of hard to explain because it's not a cookie, it's not a cracker, it's a cheese straw. It's a fun product to make. In my 20s, I had picked up my mom's recipe, had started making them. It became the thing that I always had to show up with when I went to parties. And so cheese straws were there, and it was like, I'm going to start a cheese straw company. What I really think the history of them is it was leftover cheese and flour when people were baking other things. And they were like, what are we going to do with this? And somehow or another, they came up with cheese straws. The kick of spice is really what defines them.
The straws come in spicy, mild, and the old-fashioned original dandies with just the right amount of cheddar afterkick.
My boys had grown up with them their whole lives, and so they saw this momentum starting to build. In 2014, my oldest son, Neal, was graduating from the University of Georgia, and he called me up early in that year and said, Mom, you've got this startup you're messing around with. He said, what if I came and worked with you on this startup? And I was like, come on.
As Neal explains, this started super small scale with Margaret's single little shaping tool, and demand eventually led to this big, heavy-duty, dough-dripping thingamajiggy, for lack of a better name.
This is just a little cookie press that we have a cheese straw die in the bottom of, and you put the dough in here, and you just wheel it, and it would lay it out on the trays, and she'd have to fill it up like 50 times. And so after we got going in the company, we upgraded to the beef jerky gun. And so this thing holds about a batch. And when you say a batch, you know, it's what you would use at home with your little mixer. And we have the die in the bottom of it. And then we just lay them out on the trays. And then you hand cut them just like we do today. And that's how we got started.
During pandemic, Margaret and Neal learned that folks stuck at home liked to snack, and the demand was there. Their online sales that was once on the back burner became the way of the world in just a few days. When folks want their Southern straws, they find a way to get them.
One of the most interesting to me, these people were having, like, I guess through Zoom, they were having these virtual cocktail hours with their friends. And I had one customer who has friends in Colorado and in Florida, and then they were here in Georgia. And apparently on one of their virtual cocktail hours, somebody said, what is that you're eating? And she was like, these are cheese straws. Well, they didn't know what that was. So she sent everybody cheese straws so that the next Friday, they would all have their cheese straws for their virtual cocktail hours.
It's a Southern tradition embraced and perfected by a couple of Georgia-grown cheeseheads, backed by a small team of dedicated co-workers and a growing list of consumers who are forever drawn to the straws.